Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a beautiful and eye-catching film that was released in 2005. It's about a housewife who is unhappy with her marriage and, as a result, engages in a passionate affair with her husband's brother to find out what happens next. Watch the entire episode. At the start of the film, we see a man named Igna, who is a good man who holds some old beliefs. Following that, we see his wife, Zoe, who is both attractive and modern. Ignacio requests that her wife wear a different dress to the upcoming event because the dress is too flashy. She dislikes her husband's thinking because she prefers to wear modern clothing. They both go to the church event and talk to the priest. They are trying to have a baby but are having no luck. The priest hands Zoe a book because he believes it will help her. They then go to Ignacio's mother's house for lunch. She requests that Ignacio contact his brother for lunch. It is revealed that Ignacio's relationship with his brother Gonzalo is strained. Zoe then pays a visit to Gonzalo, who is delighted to see her. She buys one of his paintings for her bedroom. She inquires if she is required to pay. Gonzalo tells her she can have it for free, but he wants his brother to pay for it all when she returns home. Ignacio explains. Gonzalo should not have accepted payment for the painting because he sends him money at night every month. Ignacio instructs her to add a baby because he is unable to do so. She denies it. The next morning, she pays a visit to Gonzalo and lies to her husband about being with a friend. Gonzalo learns that Zoe had to lie to her husband. Gonzalo claims to be my brother. You are welcome to spend time with me, but she claims that Ignacio will not allow her to pose in front of Gonz. Gonzalo is taking pictures of her for a painting when she calls Ignacio by mistake. Ignacio hears what they are saying. She tells Gonzalo that Ignacio does it with her once a week. Her nightlife is abysmal. Gonzalo takes advantage of the situation and insults him repeatedly. Enraged, Ignacio returns home and destroys Gonzalo's painting and swimming pool. As Zoe returns home and swims, she discovers the painting inside the pool. She returns to Gonzalo at night and tells him about the incident. Gonzalo informs her that Ignacio is envious of him. That's what he did. She is tired and wants to go home, but Gonzalo insists on her sleeping there. While he is working until midnight, she awakens to find Gonzalo sleeping next to her. She gets up and walks back home. She questions Ignacio about what he did to the painting. He conceals the truth and claims that Gonzalo accepted payment for it. He didn't like it one bit. Gonzalo's girlfriend is proposing to him here. He informs her that he will never marry her. She walks away from him. Gonzalo is an adult who enjoys playing with girls but does not marry. He summons Zoe to his office to greet her. He confesses to her that he has a crush on her. He then kisses her at night. Ignacio, when Zoe again argues for the baby, controls himself and tells her he needs to rest because he has a 2-day business trip. Ignacio departs for the trip the next morning, and Zoe requests that her maid spend 2 days at her home because it is her holiday. Gonzalo returns home at night and attempts to approach her. Meanwhile, Ignacio summons his wife. He is not on a business trip but is staying in a hotel with another girl. He is also defrauding Zoe. Zoe invited Gonzalo to spend the night with her. She goes to change her dress because she needs his company, and Gonzalo secretly watches her in bed. Gonzalo tells her that he has always wanted to be with her because he finds her very attractive and thinks of her in private moments. She informs him that she requires a hug. Gonzalo attempts it, but she stops him. He becomes enraged and attempts to flee. But then she stops him and does it herself. Zoe feels guilty at first, but then she feels fine. She then has a conversation with one of her friends. She inquires as to what she is doing wrong with her husband. He assures her that she is correct. If her husband is unable to satisfy her, she has the authority to do so with whomever she chooses. She believes in him and is delighted to see Gonzalo in yoga classes again. Gonzalo calls and asks her to come to him. She pays him a visit, and they spend some quality time together. She inquires about Gonzalo's relationship with another girl. He tries to ignore the question at first, but then he lies to her. Because he is head over heels in love with Zoe, he claims he has never slept with a woman. Only when she returns home is she happily swimming in the cold water. She invites Ignacio to join her in the pool. She tries to kiss him, but he is too cold and walks away after a while. She tries to seduce him. But, because he only does it on Saturdays, he warns her to cover up because she might catch a cold. She is becoming suspicious because he is never attracted to her. Ignacio then loses control, catches him red-handed, and does it with him the next morning. The entire family is present for breakfast, and everything is in order. The next morning Zoe occasionally goes to Kites to bring juice. Gonzalez follows her and begins doing it again as soon as the maid interrupts them. Zoe informs Gonzalo that Ignacio is uninterested in her body. He claims that Ignacio is abnormal at night. She asks Ignacio directly if he is normal. At night, he completely ignores her. She writes him a letter in which she expresses her belief that he is not normal because he is not attracted to her. She is leaving him and leaving forever. The next morning, Ignacio confronts Gonzalo and fights him. He questions why he did this to him. Gonzalo claims he harassed him as a child. That is why he treats his wife in this manner. Zoe leaves the house and stays in a hotel by herself. She summons Gonzalo to meet her because she has something to tell him. When Ignacio sees Gonzalo outside, he decides to follow him. He follows him to a hotel and listens in on their conversation from outside. She tells Gonzalo she is pregnant. It is only Gonzalo's child. He requests an abortion, but she wishes to keep the child because he is not accepted in society, but she wishes to keep the child at any cost. Gonzalo becomes enraged, and she leaves the hotel, vowing never to see him again. Ignacio discovers Zoe's cell phone inside the pool. He then sends a gift, a brand new phone. She calls him and speaks with him. Ignacio then pays her a visit in her hotel room. He tells her that he still adores her. He knew about her affair with Gonzalo from the start because he overheard them discussing nightlife while she was there. But he is also ready to accept his child. She also feels guilty because she lied to him and met Gonzalo every day. He also abandoned her when she needed him the most. She gladly accepts Ignacio once more. After some time, Gonzalo receives an email from Ignacio in which he describes accepting his child and naming him after their father. Gonzalo's girlfriend is also his wife. He is taken aback and shocked. As Ignacio accepts the child, he becomes emotional. Gonzalo forgave him for what he did to him as a child. Here, we see Ignacio and Zoe enjoying themselves. Ignacio has been transformed. Ignacio also has a crush on Zoe. Again, no other men come to mind. Then we see Ignacio and Zoe, who are holding their child. The mother is overjoyed to see their child, and the story has a happy ending. I hope you enjoyed the film and that you will like, comment, and share it with your friends. I'll be back with another movie explanation soon. Take precautions.